Hey guys, welcome back. I don't know why it's so turned, but okay. Sagittarius, right? Yeah, I think so. Alright, Sagittarius, holy shit. Your next blessing. Your next holiday blessing. Blessing for your holiday. A sweet little gift. Um okay. And if you're watching this when it's later than this month, then it would just be your next blessing. Or if it's around holiday, almost every month has a holiday I set, except for I think for like March. Yeah. So, and let's make one up for March. You got inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Okay, I'm gonna keep pulling for you guys. As soon as I got down ready to do your guys' reading, Sagittarius, I actually got in a really bad mood. Like funky. And I was actually perfectly fine all day. And then everything kind of just... Actually, no, there was some things that did happen that would have caused me to be in a bad mood, but it didn't put me in a bad mood. It just irritated me. And then as soon as I sat down in your energy, I don't know if it's, excuse me, it just kind of hit you. There's a lot of people, there could be a lot of people projecting onto you. There could be a lot of people that are, they call you for, they call you to, they seek you out to get information, and then when you give them information, they get triggered and want to kick back at you, talking about, oh, well, you need help too. Like, motherfucker, I didn't call you for help. You called me for help. You called me to ask me, and then when I give you information, you mad? Bro, get the fuck out my face, right? Or people creating problems when there isn't one yet. Like, oh, well, this could be a problem. When then fucking call me when it's a motherfucking problem. Why is it a problem right now when it's not a problem? Don't. Like, just don't. Just don't. Just don't. There could be a lot of bullshit like that. Like, just shit that's like, we don't need this shit right now, man. You guys got start seat. What lights you up? Right now, there's a lot of need to stay centered, to stay in your energy, to stay in your heart center, stay in the love. Understand that even though people are, don't allow yourself to get triggered. You already know what's going on. You already know what's happening. People are projecting onto you because they are being triggered. They are being poked. And even though you might not be doing it on purpose, people that are unhealed are always going to get provoked, right? They're going to turn around and be like, well, well, me what? Me what? I didn't ask you. You asked me, right? And you just need to let it go and allow yourself to remain heart centered. Because what you're doing right now, it needs to be, you need to be in your heart space, right? In your emotional space. I feel like you guys are manifesting a lot of things you're going to try to manifest. And there needs to be a sense of letting bullshit just go, not allowing people to take you out of your emotion, right? And then there's a need right now also to do the things that make you happy, and it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. I just heard not drugs. I don't know why I heard that, but I heard. Obviously, my guys don't say drugs. I say drugs because of YouTube. But things that make you happy, like that bring you joy. If you like to paint, paint. If you like to dance, dance. I am wearing headphones. The last week I've explained that my anxiety is kind of high. Not like due to worrisome, more like my energetic body is vibrating a little bit high. Actually, it's vibrating a lot higher, and even normal medication isn't working. So music will absolutely always help, right? Enjoy what you're doing. Um, I have a baking business, and I do sell on the occasion, but I got a huge desire to bake and just try a bunch of different designs just for the fun of it. I actually don't like baking as a business, and I just sell 444. I like baking as a hobby, and it kind of turned in that way because at that time back when I was selling, it was needed, right? Um, But no, I don't enjoy the pressure. You have no idea maybe you do, but the pressure of cooking when you make a mistake and you're just like just fucking throw the whole cake away. And my life is it's just not the greatest. Anyway, do things that'll make you happy right now that are not gonna stress you out. Okay. Earth school. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of lessons. There's a lot of people coming at you. There's gonna be continual life lessons, soul growth, study studying, higher learning, but these are all lessons that you're meant to take on, right? They're all lessons to make you, to help you learn and grow, that when people come towards you, you understand what's happening. And so you don't I was going to say activate, that's not the right word. This whole week my words have been failing. And when I tell you that I have a great vocabulary, I read a lot. So this is not usual for me, and it's actually very fucking annoying. Um, it's taking you out of your, te está sacando de quicio, whatever. Okay, yeah, it's just taking you out of your zone. Um, yeah, you have a lot of lessons coming in, and it seems like there's just a lot, and there's people coming at you, but it's because it's meant to trigger you. It's meant to trigger you and see where you're tender. And I always say, where it hurts, that's where you need to go heal, right? Because somebody could come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're fat," and I'd be like, "Okay, cool. Can I help you? I mean, I didn't ask you, but okay." That's not gonna offend me. Like, I don't give a shit. Is that supposed to offend me? All right, thanks. Bye. You're ugly, but like it's true. So you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Or somebody's like, you're a bitch. All right, I'm not, but I don't really care. Like, am I supposed to care? No, I'm not. Um, People are just gonna project onto them the way that you make them feel about themselves, right? Or the way, if it's crazy because people will literally ask you, hey, this and this and this, and then when you like give them answer because you're trying to be a good person, you trigger them because they feel less than and they feel like they're not good enough, or maybe because you've already been through this, you've already conquered this, they feel less than, so they have to poke at you. It's a weird fucking thing. Like, bro, then go to a therapist, okay? Because that way you can fucking pay, and you take advantage of that shit instead of um projecting onto the people that are trying to help you for free, by the way. um you got Star Family. You're part of a team of souls. Call and support. Yeah, you have people that can help you. You have people that understand what you're going through right now. You have people that, and even not, they will give you the space to at least um to be able to vent, to be able to say, hey, this and this has happened. Let me use you as a sounding board, or let me throw some ideas around with you, right? People that will actually understand you and will be able to give you that information without having that throwing back in your face kind of thing. That you, if that makes any sense. You do have people that are around you, but I also am getting, as soon as I look back down at the card, there's a lot of information coming in through your crown chakra. So even if you don't have people in the 3D, you can meditate and receive answers that way, right? Remember, praying is when you speak to God, and meditation is when God is speaking to you. So meditation, if you need answers, if you don't have anywhere else to turn or look, meditation will always help. And then my energy just like dropped. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Sagittarius is. I don't know if you guys are having health issues. If you guys feel exhausted from your nervous system, this doesn't feel like not a natural tired. Like, I had a really productive day, I'm really tired. This feels like a soul exhaustion. Like, my soul is so tired. Like, you need a type of rest that sleeping will not get you. And I feel like you need a release, and you need to connect to earth and a higher power. And when I mean a higher power, you need to connect in the 5D. I feel like maybe you haven't been connecting in the 5D, so you're absorbing a lot of this energy or holding it in because there's a lot going on and your soul is just exhausted. I remember feeling this towards the beginning of my biggest, and it didn't matter how much I rested. I was not getting rest. Because this is a deep bone soul exhaustion that you're just not going to get from sleep, right? So there's a need right now, but to rest your mind. Sorry, hang on one second. Okay, anyway. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Yeah, I feel like because people are projecting onto you, you're dimming yourself to not have to deal with people that are projecting onto you. That's the worst thing you can do, because what you're doing is basically you're shutting yourself up to make other people comfortable. Fuck other people and fuck making them comfortable. Say what you need to say and say what needs to be said. And if somebody is projecting onto you, let them know immediately. Like, listen, your behavior is unacceptable. You asked me for help and I'm just giving you advice. In the future, don't ask me for advice, because I'm no longer available for that, because you do not have the emotional IQ to understand that I'm not attacking you. I'm just giving you response from knowledge that I have from reading, from studying, from life, from whatever, right? From intuition. If it makes you uncomfortable, you're being triggered, your triggers are your motherfucking problems, not mine. So deal with that shit. I have a friend that back in the day, she would want to hang out and I'd be like, cool. Like, we went to a vacation together and she didn't want me to drink, and I'm like, girl, I'm on vacation. If I want to have a couple drinks, mind you, literally like 3 drinks, and they were like cans. When I tell you that, for me is like, I might as well be drinking water, okay? But we were on the beach. I wanted to have, she got mad, she threw a fit, and I go, listen, your childhood trauma and your triggers are not my fucking responsibility. If you don't like it, that's a you problem. I paid for my trip and I want to enjoy my shit. Not my fucking problem. Luckily, I controlled myself, and she even got to a point where she insulted me, and I was like, cool. But I knew she was like having it, but I wasn't gonna take that shit. Like, that energy is not gonna affect me. All right, whatever. Right? And then after that, she had to take space away from me, and I was like, girl, I wasn't the problem. You were. You can do what you want on your vacation. I'm gonna do what I want. I was not the problem. I was absolutely not the problem. You needed space because you didn't like how your character came out negative and mistreated me for your fucking trigger. I didn't hurt you. I didn't do shit to you. Clarifying inner temple. Yeah, the Page of Swords. You're starting to see clarity. You're starting to see clarity in people's behaviors, in your truths, in your life, the way you behave, the way other people have behaved, and the way that you keep choosing and making decisions for your life based off of past trauma. It almost feels like, honestly, you have settled just to not, I don't want to say that, but it came through, just to not be alone in certain situations, right? And that doesn't have to be romantic. That can be friendships. And then allowing less than in friendships where you weren't getting in return because you were just settling. And that could be the same thing. Like, you weren't allowing yourself to see. I'm getting the screening process wasn't there. There was the really bad screening process. So people were getting through, and it was because you were at a level that was not valuing yourself correctly. With the starseed, what lights you up? Knight of Swords. You're not speaking your truth about stuff. I feel like you're keeping things in. You could be having a lot of issues with your throat chakra. You could be getting sick and having a lot of throat pain. And you remember how I told you guys at the beginning, like, I'm losing my words in your, it's almost like you don't know how to articulate and you don't know how to say what you want to say without it coming out as just fighting and without insulting. You don't need to do all that. You need to just sit there and maybe just write down and then do a first draft and then write it down again, so you can express exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it and who you want to say it to. And even if you don't say it to them, maybe that's not something you want to do, but at least you've written it down. Because you know how when you have those arguments and you're angry and you're triggered, so instead of like speaking sense. You're over there talking about, well, you a broke ass, blah, 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 instead of being like, look, you're not listening to me. You're not validating my feelings. I've expressed myself to you many, many times that I don't like this behavior. It's obvious that you don't give a shit how I feel. So maybe the problem is not you. The problem is me, because you've shown me time and time again that you don't give a fuck, because you continue to do the same behavior over and over and over again, right? It's very different than you're a piece of shit and you don't ever treat me right. It's very different, okay? So, and then when you have those arguments and then like later you come and you're like, damn it, I should have said that. And damn it, I should have said that other thing too. And then like it starts to like coming out like actually like making sense. So it would be good to write down the things that you're feeling, but also that you need to be in a state of calmness. If you're screaming, that's not even a conversation. That's just, you're just screaming on top of you. Nothing's happening. Nothing is being fixed. Nothing. You're just screaming on top of each other, and it gets to a point where you're just so mad you don't give a shit and you're just insulting each other, right? You're just a bum, you're just a bad mom, whatever it is that's being said, right? And then there are times, honestly, that you might just be in a relationship with someone that just does not have the emotional or mental IQ to be understanding. I remember there were times where I was dealing with someone and half of the words I would say, they'd be like, I don't even know what that means. And at that point, I was like, conversation over, because you are not even at the level that you need to be for me to having this conversation with you. And that's when I realized, like, this is not the person for me, right? When it would get to that point when you don't even understand half the words I just said in English, and you keep the fuck am I? No, this conversation is over. There is nothing to be said because you're not speaking. You're just calling me names, right? You're seeing the truth of conversations and of your behaviors and of the things that you've basically settled with, is what I'm getting, honestly. Because from what I'm seeing behaviors that were not enough for you to settle, if that makes sense. Yeah, unhappy home. Earth school, unhappy home, unhappy life. Feeling like you're just miserable in every aspect of life, like you're not gaining traction in anything that you're doing. Remember at the point in your life when you actually had some traction. And remember the behaviors that you were doing, the way you were behaving, the way you were showing up for yourself, the way you were showing up for other people, and then compare it to what you're going through right now and the differences of how you put yourself first, or if you didn't, and how you were doing it when life was actually giving. Compare the differences, okay, and find the common denominator. Are you allowing yourself to be in bare minimum fucking relationships or friendships or bare minimum jobs, or allowing yourself people to take from you to the point where you just don't have shit anymore for yourself? You have nothing to give, not even to you anymore. You're miserable. Some of you guys could be getting a divorce, some of you guys could be separating, some of you guys could have moved out of your home, and because of that, you know, this, like I said, this is a lot of life lessons. There's a lot of soul growth going on right now, and it's needed. And unfortunately, it's needed because us as humans, we don't grow through sweetness and loving and kindness. We grow through pain until we learn that this is not kind of behavior I'm going to fucking accept from anybody, right? And I mean nobody. I don't give a fuck. People, that's family. I don't give a fuck. Nah, I don't give a fuck if we have the same blood. You ain't going to treat me like shit. I don't care who you are. My mom always used to use the phrase, I'm your mom. Since when? Since when? Since when? Right? My relationship with her is better, but at the time when she'd be like, oh, respect me. No, bitch, you get respect when you give respect. I don't give a fuck your title. I care none. Again, my relationship with her is better, but nah, labels don't mean shit to me. Nothing. You know what it means to me? You know what I care about? Is behavior and respect. Okay? Labels don't mean anything to me. Don't get yourself stuck in situations because of labels. Like all those people that are over here, like with that show on Netflix, I think it was on Netflix, those people that were like, oh, it's my twin flame and I'll love him forever. I'm looking at them like, Y'all need fucking something, because, nah, no, no, okay? Yeah, there's a need right now with the Seven of Pentacles. There's need to start planning and growing. You need a plan. You need a plan, and you need to start planting the seeds and then start growing it. Unfortunately, I am seeing for some of you guys, you are starting from ground zero. It almost feels like you're, what I'm seeing is somebody clearing out. I've never actually owned a farm, although it's my lifelong dream. But I'm seeing like them like using the machine to rake the ground to start planting the seeds, right? But the ground is just, it's just dirt right now. There's nothing there. It's just being prepped, and you're starting in an empty lot is what I'm seeing. And you're gonna have to start planting seed by seed by seed by seed. And unfortunately, because of past decisions, whenever we fucking allow people to dictate our lives, to dictate our income, to dictate our emotions, you lose everything because you've given it to somebody else. So your sovereignty, you don't have sovereignty. So now you're going to have to start from the beginning. And I feel like this time you're going to start your foundation strong. And it's going to be your own foundation. So no matter who comes along, they can't take your foundation. It's fucking yours. And you made sure that shit was made out of titanium. But you're going to be gardening your planting seeds and gardening your garden, right? It is yours. Nobody else is to fuck up. Right? And only the people that know how to fucking garden correctly or have a green thumb can come into this shit, right? With the Three of Pentacles, yeah, you have people coming in to help you, people coming in to work with you, in different aspects of life, right? When I say work with you, that could be work, but I feel like work with you, like to help you with advice, help you with getting the tools that you need to get you ahead. And now I don't mean somebody's coming to save you, because nobody's going to come to save you. This is something that you're going to have to do, and you're going to have to grind in the dirt, and you're going to have to get down on your knees and fucking work your ass off and get those calluses. Because, again, somebody you thought that was going to come in and save you, and all they did was fucking destroy your garden. Right? Yeah. Alright, let me get you guys some advice. And now that I got through your reading, I feel so much better. Like, I'm not even in a bad mood anymore. Yeah, you guys might be, like, really cranky. Be careful of taking that shit on other people. Remember, we don't project. If you're in a bad mood, you stay the fuck away from people. When I'm in a really bad mood, for the most part, I don't answer my phone. I don't talk to people. I don't do shit. Sometimes my kids do get the brunt of it, but because they don't listen, and I'm already in a bad mood, and I'm like, bruh, I told you 20 times. Gratitude. Be grateful for abundance. Live in appreciation for what you have, and more good things will come. Yeah, right now there's a feeling of you not having enough, maybe, or you like there's a feeling of having had it all and lost it, which, yes, that does suck. But I can tell you, as somebody who has restarted their life from ground zero at least 6 times, when you learn that your foundation is your own and nobody can take that shit, and even starting over, sometimes you just start over, and you originally you started over with 0 tools, and it was really hard. And then the more you learn, the more tools you'll have, and it'll be easier and easier and easier. And you won't make those mistakes where people will come in and fuck up your foundation. Alright, Sagittarius, I love you guys so much. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys feel better. I will see you guys soon. Bye.